Hello and welcome to Oh the Horror. I'm Fedora, and today What the hell?
Hey guys, I'm the Great Fighter Doken.
Cut the crap, Fada, what do you want?
I heard you were doing a horror movie review based on a game, and I thought I'd sit in.
It's not based on a game. It's a world where Hellraiser is now an MMORPG. The game's fake.
That's okay. I talk about fake games all the time.
Hey, I sent you one of those games.
Oh yeah. Which one was that again? The one that's broken beyond all repair? The one that glitches out every 15 seconds? Oh! You must mean the one with the completely original plot and storyline that's completely in no way derived from every other piece of work that's ever existed.
You son of a... Today we'll be looking at the 8th entry in the Hellraiser franchise, Hellraiser Hellworld. So let's log on.
So we start this movie with some guy digging a hole.
Calm down, dude. I'm sure there'll be plenty of reasons to scream in rage later in the review.
It was obviously quite a deep hole, as now we're at the guy Adam's funeral, where his friends Jake, Derek, Allison, and... Hey, wait a minute. Is that...
Henry Cavill!
And here come the Superman jokes.
Hey, you take what you can get.
Anyway, the group start chatting about the suspected reason for Adam's death, an addictive online video game called Hellworld.
This is nothing new. World of Warcraft has ended more lives than Hiroshima.
Our heroine for this movie, Chelsea, girlfriend of the recently deceased, approaches the coffin to catch one last peek, when suddenly...
Oh god, not this again.
So it's been 2 years since the funeral, where I can only assume that the corpse didn't actually grab Chelsea's arm. And she receives a visit from...
What's up, Mike?
What? Paid to grab $100 for this thing on the internet.
Not quite as good a disguise as a pair of spectacles, eh, Soups?
Superman opens up his Hellworld online account. Yes, despite this game apparently being the cause of their friend's death, they still apparently play it 2 years on. Only to find an invitation to a Hellworld Party at the Leviathan House on Hillbound Road. Subtle.
Oh, what? So now you're above it all?
Chelsea, being the only one with any decency in the face of this, is adamant that she won't go.
Yeah? At least until the next morning, anyway.
100% mayhem, 0% guilt.
So the group drive to the Leviathan House and arrive at the Hellworld Party. They're then joined by the reluctant friend Jake, who is still quite sore at the group and blames them for Adam's death. But there'll be time for that later on. For now, the host of the party arrives.
Welcome, Hellraisers.
Hey, that's the android from Aliens!
I prefer the term artificial person myself.
Bishop takes an apparent liking to our heroes, offering them expensive scotch, displaying to them his collection of Hellraiser merch, and even showing them his freaky underground laboratory full of severed heads and fetuses.
You know, like a good host always does.
Seeing how Chelsea is the only one underwhelmed, Bishop suddenly jabs her with a pin, causing her to start hallucinating. After which, Superman, the guy wanting to be her boyfriend and all, is naturally very concerned for her.
I need a drink.
Don't let his act of heartlessness make you think less of him, no. Let his decision to insult her for not wanting to have sex with him do that.
Well, that went well.
Anyway, on to something more interesting. Allison wanders randomly into a room marked Keep Out, where she finds herself suddenly strapped to some kind of execution chair, and Bishop suddenly appears to activate it.
Hold on a second.
Teenage victims being killed off one at a time unbeknown to their friends who will inevitably join them? This is a slasher movie!
I'm not saying slasher movies are bad, obviously, but Hellraiser has always been, in my view, a more sophisticated level of horror. So when I see it dumb itself down into a slasher film...
Hey, it could be worse. They could do something cheesy, like have the ghost of Chelsea's boyfriend appear to her and, oh, wait.
So everyone sort of just goes around doing their own thing, like moping and trying to get laid, with illusions of Pinhead and Bishop digging graves appearing along the way. That is until Derek manages to kick his asthma puffer through a vent into the freaky laboratory and goes down to get it back.
Wow, that must be some damn good asthma medicine.
Yeah, I'll say. Pass that shit around, buddy. His high is spoiled slightly when Pinhead appears and, very uncharacteristically, cuts his head off. He just cuts his head off.
I know this is just a script edit, but come on! You've got Pinhead, the master of torture, and you just make him come in and cut his head off.
Imagination.
How's this for imagination, then? Jake wanders up to the attack and has sex with the ghost of a nun.
Okay. Anyway, what's Superman up to? Oh, he seems to have found a friend too. I guess she's more of a Batman girl then. So after being locked in the freaky lab, Superman finds the headless corpse of Derek, then finds the head, before getting a massive hook shoved through his back, courtesy of one of the Cenobites.
Aren't you going to joke about how it was made of kryptonite or something?
The moment's passed. Back to Chelsea, who has spent the majority of her time locked in a room and is now trying to escape the party in her car.
Like a bad horror movie, isn't it?
Well, at least the movie's self-aware.
Chelsea runs back to the house to look for Jake, instead running into the mutilated version of her friends, who chase her up to the house's attic.
But in this moment of immersed horror, she still finds time to argue with Bishop over the phone about his apparent lack of Hellraiser knowledge.
So you are Pinhead, right? Let me guess, you're going to rip off your face and morph into some franchise icon, right?
Give me a break, you don't know Hellworld's from your ass.
Then how come you're in it?
Get your mythology right, buddy. First, I have to open the box. Then Pinhead appears, the hooks and chains. But none of that's happened. Why?
Bitch, you're trapped in a house with a paranormal psychopath, and your friends, who are now zombies, are trying to kill you. I think he can be forgiven for not being quite up to standards on the mythos of a horror movie.
Remember, it's a game in this world.
It's a pile of shit in this world.
After this, the ghost of Adam makes another appearance, albeit a bit more unsightly and aggressive this time around, and grabs Chelsea's arm from underneath the floorboards.
Chelsea! Whatever it is, don't believe it! It's not real! It's all in your head! It's whatever you're afraid of! Don't be afraid! No, you have to believe me! It's not happening! Chelsea, it's not real!
What is real? How do you define real?
Chelsea is reunited with Jake, and is revealed that Bishop is actually Adam's father, who blames the group for his son's death.
Why?
Fucked if I know. And Chelsea gets to express her opinions on this matter too, via Chuck Norris kick.
But if aliens was any clue, this doesn't keep Bishop down for long. So he teleports after them until they run into the graves that we saw him digging before.
Then we enter into one of the most impractical, plot hole raising, unthought out end twists I have ever seen.
Wrap your heads around this shit.
Bishop, somehow, has access to a super drug that he used on the group as soon as they arrived to knock them out. He then buried them alive using drain pipes so they wouldn't suffocate, and then used the drug's hallucinogenic effects to make them imagine everything that has happened in this movie!
So, all her friends' deaths...
Self-inflicted in their drugged-up states.
Them talking to each other?
He put mobile phones in there with them.
Everything that happened, all the places, the people, the story...
It was all in their goddamned, shitty-assed, fucked-up imaginations.
Imagination.
Alright. I have one or two questions regarding plot holes to this twist.
And if your intelligence wasn't insulted enough already, get ready for this! After the police rescue Chelsea and Jake, they start acting lovey-dovey with each other. They never actually spent any time together! It was a dream! And that cop! That same cop appeared earlier in the film, in the dream. How did they imagine someone they could never have possibly seen before? And now, they're indicating that Adam called the police from beyond the fucking grave, and that's the only reason that Chelsea and Jake are still alive!
Fedora, man, you need to calm down, mate. It's not like it can get any worse. See, it's almost over. Here's Bishop in some hotel. He's playing with some fake lament configuration and...
No. You can't be serious. It's a game. You acknowledged 100 times that it's a game. There's been images of Pinhead in this game. There's been actual voice clips of him. It's a game.
Welcome to hell.
What?
Yep, as if to spit in the face of the audience's ability to take this shit seriously one final time, it turns out the Cenobites are real. And they slice Bishop to pieces, living in a pile of terribly made CG mess. Jeez, what is the cinema world's obsession with tearing Lance Henriksen in half? And so this blind idiocy ends, with Bishop's ghost attacking Chelsea and Jake as the camera zooms in on a bloodied up lament configuration.
And that... shit was Hellraiser Hellworld.
Alright, we know the story. We know Hellraiser movies of this period were just scripts that were shelved by Dimension Films and then dusted off and altered into sequels. With that in mind, seeing things that don't quite link with the characters like Pinhead cutting somebody's head off or any other B-rated slasher movie cliches would be dumb, but I could get over it. Hell, compared to Deader, the addition of Hellraiser actually fitted in with this movie far better. What I cannot get over, however, is that ridiculous ending that expects you to swallow 12,000 plot holes and even then completely ignores its own continuity.
Right, that's over. And you can bugger off and all.
Yeah, I have more important things to do than waste my time watching you cry and moan. Just relax. It's not like it could get any worse than that. See ya.
Yeah, guess he's right. I mean, how can it possibly be any worse than that? Oh my god!
Imagination. Imagination. Imagination.
Imagination.